Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's December 26th, the day after Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody. I decided to come because I really wanted to share some things before the new year. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I did a self-imposed No Starts 2019. And 2020 is upon us very shortly now, in less than a week. So I wanted to start something on the 1st. So if I won't have uninterrupted time to film for a while, I could probably do some more videos just after the 1st of the year when my husband goes back to work, but he's off now for like a week and a half. So we agreed that I could make some time right now. I really wanted to get one in. So I'm up in my bedroom, and you'll see Mother's Bliss by Mirabilia over here in my baby pictures of my kids. But there's a few other things, but they're right behind me. So I come in here, I don't have a whole lot of stitching progress to show you, but what I mainly want to talk about is all of the kitted up things that I have that are on the long short list for next year. And I'm hoping after the 1st of the year, I can come on and do a whip parade of what I have currently going and maybe show the finishes that I've done this past year. And because I like the idea of a before and after for the year's progress, but I didn't do that this year, and so I think it would be hard to find before pictures, but I could at least start now and do a whip parade in January, and then every January after that maybe I could try to do an updated whip parade with before and afters for the whole year's progress, which could be fun. The other thing I want to do after the 1st of the year is a review video for mybobbin.com. I got they approached me to receive some items and do a review on my channel, so I'll do that after the 1st of the year too. So for now, let's show you what I've done the last, I guess, week and a half, and then what I got for Christmas, and then what I might start in the new year. And I think I know, I'm still on the fence, but I think I know. And then a few things at least in January, and when I'm potentially plotting in a few things. And then maybe you guys can help me decide what to do with the rest of it. The only things I've been working on lately are my temperature pieces. If I have time to stitch, that's what I'm working on. So yesterday afternoon, I got a chance to get caught up on my temperature quilt, so that's exciting. This is what that looks like. Oh, I didn't bring my fabric. I was going to show you my fabric for the new temperature tree, and that's one thing I forgot downstairs. This is where it's at now. I presume I would have shown you a picture where it was before. So, let's see. I did a good amount in here in December, so it's mostly cut up there, and I have another string of sashing on my needle right now. So all I need to do, besides these blocks, I need to finish out the sashing down here and this thicker one all the way down here. So there's still a good amount of that stitching that needs to happen, but it is very close, and it's very exciting. 28 count 1/1 MCG Textiles light blue even weave, which is also what this other one is on. My balloons. Here's that. The mock-up of this one. And here's where I got to so far on this. This is what it looked like before. And here it is now. I am not as caught up on this one. I could do most of this next row here on the December block, but I did probably a little bit since you saw it last. This little basket is complete, so every non-temperature element is finished. So that's exciting. All I have left is the 2 rows of blocks left in December on that balloon, and all the baskets and clouds are finished. So yay! So what I'm going to plan to do, probably work on this more today. I think I'll film this today and then edit it tomorrow, just so I don't have to spend the whole day working on editing, because it's already the afternoon, and it's still Christmas vacation. So I'll work on those. I'll work on getting my blocks cut up on my temperature temperature balloons. And then if I have more stitching time, I'll work on sashing on the quilt. Because I do want to get a start on my temperature tree trunk before the first of the year, ideally. So I really want to make a lot of headway on that sashing so I can justify coming over here and making a start on the trunk. Because I would like to have at least, I'll probably start in the center, and then I want to work my way down to this branch to be able to start the leaves on time on the 2nd of January. So, because I like, I usually pick out my temperatures the day after it happens to make sure it's 100% done on the temperature app. I use AccuWeather.com, and I'm excited. So you can find those 3 temperature patterns and my temperature gardens all on my Etsy shop if anyone wants to join me. And I have a Facebook group, Stitch Along with Stitchin Mommy. I feel really out of it as far as social media. I don't have a lot of time to go interact and post things. I had a request for somebody to maybe provide like a thread in the Facebook group every week or so to update, to be able to, everybody could share their progress pictures on the temperature pieces. So I might try to do that maybe once a month would be more my steam rather than once a week, and everybody could show their progress. On Instagram, you can use any of the hashtags we've used so far. This year we could do temperature tree, you could do temperature balloons, temperature garden, all of those. I think I'm the only one that has that variety of temperature thing. Temperature quilt, I use the hashtag temperature quilt XS because there are physical fabric temperature quilts. So if you just say temperature quilt, you're going to include all the fabric quilts. And that's not what we're doing. We're doing cross stitch. So temperature quilt XS. Any of these, if you want to, you can add 2020 at the end, just if you want to, but you can also just use temperature and the thing of whichever pattern you're working on. You could also do temperature cross stitch as a hashtag and see more. So there's a variety. Or temperature XS. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if I've looked into that one yet. But again, I haven't been on Instagram a lot in the past few months either, so I feel a little bit removed from all of that, which is kind of bad, but life has been more important lately, so I guess that's what it is. I would like to share some Christmas cards that I got from the Stitchy friends that are around. Let's see, I think these are in order of when I received them. This is from Colette, the Highway Stitcher. Very pretty Christmas scene, and she sent also with her card a skein of Christmas DMC, which is really fun. So thank you, Colette. And I got a Christmas card from Rita Marie, and this is a painting or artwork from a Norwegian artist, which is cool. She's in Norway. So thank you, Rita. And this one was a cute one from Becky G. I don't think she has a Flosstube, but she's on Instagram and she comments a lot. So that was a fun Christmas card to receive. And I received this was a fun one from Julie, hand calligraphied card, which was nice. She won one of my giveaways, so she sent me a Christmassy thank you card along with a homemade needle minder, which was really pretty. It's all very blingy. Isn't that pretty? It's very small, very cute, very lightweight. So that'll be fun. That's going on something, something soon. So I had to share that with you guys. Thank you, Julie. And then last but not least, let's see, what was this one? Ann P. Floss Fiber and Fiction here on Flosstube. This was her Christmas card to me. So thank you. Thank you, Ann. Those were all very lovely. And it's fun to be, just have some extra interaction at the holidays with some of you. So with in-person people, I got a few Stitchy gifts. My husband got me this Mill Hill kit. Oh, speaking of this, there is one more thing I was going to start this year that I didn't bring. Maybe I'll go grab that real quick, along with the fabric for my temperature tree. But in the meantime, I got this Mill Hill kit for an ornament. I've never done one of these before, and I thought this one was very pretty. It's got lots of blingy beads and perforated paper and floss. I don't want my tree covered in cross-stitch things because that's not my husband's aesthetic at all. He wants a variety of decorations and things, especially even on the walls and on the tree and whatnot, not just cross-stitch everywhere. But I thought this was really pretty and would be kind of a blend of cross-stitch and just pretty Christmas stuff. So that was fun. He also got me some tacks in my stocking, which is an odd thing, but when I am planning to start a needlepoint design, possibly for my New Year New Start, this is helpful, which goes with my mother-in-law in my stocking at her house. I got the stretcher bars. So now I have tacks and stretcher bars for my New Year New Start, which I'm 99% sure is what I want to do for my New Year New Start. I have one other thing that I'm thinking about doing for that, but I think this will be the one. I think this is the one. And I already have the canvas, so now in the next few days I need to like cut that to size, masking tape the edges, and then I think the pattern even calls for like drawing out the squares. Here's the one I'm going to do, Rosetto. And they even tell you to like draw out where these blocks go. So we'll see if I decide to do that or not. And I've got all the fun fancy floss that I need to use for that. And I showed all of you this more specifically in a recent video. So that's ready to go. From my mother-in-law, also in my stocking, I got my first Silky Petites. And this is a variegated pack. So those are really pretty. This one is a little bit too much for me in general, but a lot of these other ones I really, really like. So those will be fun. I'll have to see if there's something I can do with those in the future. And she also got me a cute needle minder that she found, looks like on Amazon, actually, called Snarky Crafter Designs. And let's get this off of here. It's got a cute kitty and it says Stitching Assistant. So I thought that was cute. She must have just thought of that on her own. Oh, and it looks like this is a hoop that he's sitting on. He or she. So that's cute. And I got that. And then the last thing I got that was actually wrapped, oh no, two more things actually. I'll put that away later. My mother-in-law also got me a kit from AliExpress that is this pattern, the ball, which Vicky from Reading and Stitching is doing this one, and I saw it on her channel and just thought, oh, I love that. So they had a variety to choose from, and I chose the 18 count kit, and so it comes with all of that. Has the threads sorted and the 18 count canvas, so it looks like it might be a light gray. It could just be white though, but that's, I guess, a possibility for starting this year. Not necessarily, but that was a fun Christmas gift. And the last Christmas gift that is Stitchy related, also by my mother-in-law, is a Kindle Fire. And this was only exclusively bought for Pattern Keeper. Because I have, what do you call it? iPads and iPhones and nothing that would use Pattern Keeper. So, let's see. Oh, it didn't, I've only uploaded one, but I have a bunch of PDFs. I put these all in my Google Drive the other day so that I can, when I'm ready to, I can like pull them up. Oh, come on. No, oh, I think it's processing. It wants to cancel. So I already did this one. I tried to put mine in here, and mine are not compatible with Pattern Keeper, which is kind of, oh my goodness. There we go. I have to figure out how to use this thing. But this one is my other possibility for New Year, New Start. But I think I might wait until maybe my anniversary because it's like our family in owls. Where's that one? A bigger picture of this for you guys is right here. And I have fabric for this in Glacier, 28 count even weave. I'll do it 1/1 and no background version. So that was the other one that I was playing with on Pattern Keeper because I'm excited to see how that works. So that will be fun to try out my various full coverage pieces and see if it's as much of a game changer as it has been for a lot of other stitchers. So this January, if I don't do the owl family, if I stick with my needlepoint design for my New Year, New Start, going forward, I think I'll just try it out on like my Quick Stitch Iris for my aunt and Knitting Woman, those ones that are for my family pieces that I'll probably work on for a few days in January and see how that goes. I'm excited to see if it gives me more motivation to stitch and do a little bit more because I've kind of been in a full coverage funk lately where I haven't been wanting to do it. So I'm excited to try that. So all the rest of this stuff that I have lying around me in piles is New Year Start potentials, plus a few extras that I just threw in there to show you. But kitted up items. So you saw my New Year, New Start, which will likely be this one, because I'm excited to work on specialty stitches and fancy threads and all of that. And that's exciting. Oh, okay, I forgot something else. I'll be back. I realized there were 3 things I forgot, and while I was looking for those 3, I found a 4th. So, this is the fabric that I'm going to use. Oh, this is already cut into, so I might have to get the other pack. But this is the 28 count light blue even weave that you can find at Hobby Lobby. It's made by Zweigart. It's a nice color. It's a little bit darker, or lighter, I mean. A little bit lighter than the MCG stuff that they used to sell. But it is nice. It is nice fabric. So this is what I'll use for my temperature tree coming up, 1/1. I wanted to show you that. Okay, where was I? January 1st, I'll start my needlepoint piece, and I'll give that a few days to kind of sink my teeth into it. And so on the 6th, I think, is the first Monday, and hopefully I'll be able to film a regular update video on that day. But I think that's the day I'm going to choose to do my Bloomtopia stitching for the fat quarter top, which is what this looks like. And this is a stitch along. They're doing a charity stitch along. The pattern is free, but they want you to make a donation to Make-A-Wish. I believe $15. And I am one of a few Flosstubers who are stitching along ahead of time, and then they'll show our progress when each pattern chunk is released. So I need to stitch it ahead. I think the first release is February 1st, so I need to get mine in ahead of that. So I will be starting that, I think, on the 6th of January. And each part is fairly small. I'm going to use 28 count Ivory Lugana with this fun set of fancy flosses that I picked in a video like a month ago. So that's what I'm going to do. A few days into January, I'll start working on that. And then, where's my Nora Corbett? I didn't have these. She's over here, I think. On the 15th of January, I'm going to start my next letter fairy. Do the letter E. And I still need to sort out my conversion for this. This is Letters from Nora by Nora Corbett. And I'm doing mine on the Called For Linen 32 count water lily. These are some leftover beads and Krynic from my last. I think these are from the S fairy actually, which is right over here. Can't really see. From that one. that I did for myself. But for her, I think I may leave the E the same and make her like in a red dress. So I'll still think, I need to discuss this with my mother-in-law to see if, to make sure I have her favorite color, this niece's favorite colors figured out. So I'll be starting that on the 15th. And then one last thing, I didn't even bring my thing up for, one last thing in January I was thinking of starting. Maybe it wasn't January, I don't know. I have a few other things, and I'll show you all of these things and when I might think of starting them, and if I don't know, I'll just say I don't. Some other things I do want to start, I have this Mill Hill kit, which is my first buttons and beads. I haven't done any Mill Hill kits, so now I have this snowflake ornament, and now I had this one that I got last year. Lots of beads, and I'm going to be probably doing this as a travel piece. So assuming I can get my temperature tree under control, then what I might do is I might have my tree as my travel piece, and if I'm sufficiently caught up on a particular day, I'll work on this as well. So and it'll be like my extra travel piece. Some other things, this is something that I had forgotten about, but I do want to get to this eventually, is my Lavender and Lace Celtic Seasons collage that I'm kind of putting together. This is kind of as far as I've gotten so far, but I want to do something like this on this lamb's wool linen with all of these Celtic ladies. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. You gotta be able to see it. So this is something that maybe could get started this year, or at the very least charted this year to start next year. So we'll see about that. That's something that I do want to spend some more time on. I want to work on Thankful Owls for one of the teachers at my kids' school, and that needs to be done like by the end of April or something. So that will get started at some point. I don't have anything earmarked for it yet, but it is a to-do this year. This is something that is just fun that I may want to start at some point, using some mint green Jubilee 1/1 full cross. It's a full coverage piece, but it doesn't have background, and so it's not technically full coverage. That would be something fun to start just for kicks and giggles. This is a kit that I got for my birthday that, you know, since it's a kit, it's all here. I could start that at any point. Maybe my daughter's birthday next December, maybe. This one is the one I mentioned before that I may start in August on our anniversary, if I don't start it in January. We'll see how desperate I am to try Pattern Keeper. If I can wait until like later in the month to try it when I work on some full coverage, or maybe I don't know. The rest of this year, I want to focus really hard on my temperature pieces, but if I have extra time, I do want to get a little bit farther on my Heirloom Nativity Sampler, and a better stopping point on Lady of the Flag. All those ones that I did a few weeks back that I didn't get my goals finished, those would be nice to work on. But now that I have Pattern Keeper, I am tempted to go in and work on something that I could easily enter in my previous stitched areas and do a little bit just to see what it's like. So at the very least, I'll pull that out again, like on the 10th or the 11th, to work on my iris piece. So that's maybe the first time I'll work on it, but I really want to try something sooner. So we'll see. The other things I have that I really want to start this year, I'm not sure if I have space in my new starts, are this series of Floral Crosses by Jan Lin. I started collecting these several years ago, and I have all 4 now. This is the winter one, and it is a full kit. It's stitched on green, light green Aida, 14 count. Probably just do it on that. These are backstitched letters, so everything is just regular Aida. This one is spring, and it's actually done on light blue. 14 count Aida, which doesn't really look like blue in the picture, but I know how hard it is to photograph blue, so. And then Summer, yeah, this is Summer. This one is on white Aida. And then I was able to procure the very last one, Fall, from the Cooler Design Studio. I believe I got this from Everything Cross Stitch. It was a gift, but at the time all the kits were gone. Like you can't really find the kits anymore, but they are on Everything Cross Stitch as a print copy. And they may actually also be on the Cooler Design Studio online for PDFs. I'm not really sure about that. But I got a print copy, and it called for white Aida, but I looked through my stash and saw what I had, and knowing that all of these are already on different colors of Aida, I found some oatmeal 14 count Aida that I think would look really nice for the fall one, because then it would be slightly different. It'd be more rustic and autumnal, and I think that would be perfect to be for the fall cross. So these are ones that I would like to start this year, one each quarter. So I don't know that I have earned 5 starts with with things that I have finished in 2019. So with what I want to start, I don't know that all 4 of these count unless I finish some more things, because I was hoping to do the rule of finish 2 things to start one, to pay for a new start, so to speak, and a page finish on a full coverage can count as a finish. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to enforce that or not. If I want to just enjoy stitching and not worry about it. So we'll see. Another few kits that I have that are kind of on the short list. I have this elegant tapestry by Gold. It's a Gold Collection Dimensions kit. I have this kitted up as a kit, obviously. Let's see, Stitching at the Cabin, Julie, is working on this one. She just started it. And so she's making me want to start it too. It was not necessarily on my short list until she started working on it. So, I don't know, maybe. And then another one that I think my friend would love. So if I stitched this, I would give it to her. It's another just regular Dimensions kit. Flowers in a vase or something. Flowers in tall vase. So that's a maybe. And this is one I picked up I had seen it in Solvang and then put it on my wish list or something and picked it up later with a gift card or something. So this is Butterfly Forest, another Dimensions Gold. So it's all in there. So that's something else I could start. Okay, some other things that I want to start eventually or soonish. This Alessandra Adelaide pattern. Conti di Natale, maybe? It's a Christmas music one that I think would be fun to kit up in the Etoile, DMC Etoile sparkly threads, which I have. So I don't necessarily know what fabric I would put it on, but I know I want to use those Etoile threads. So that's something that maybe next Christmas would be fun to start. I also want to work on Teresa Wensler's The English Garden Sampler. And I do not want to do this picture, because I think I would be overwhelmed by all of that confetti. So what I'm going to do is I may or may not stitch the outside border, but I will at least stitch this chunk. Because I think this part right here I think is really pretty. So I have fabric for that. It just calls for DMC and probably some metallics and beads. So that's mostly ready to go. I would like to start that sometime soon. There's this one, the Heirloom Stitching Sampler by the Victoria Sampler, which I know I like their stuff. I've been working on the Nativity Sampler recently. It has some spinning wheels up here, and these ladies are stitching and quilting. These ladies are stitching. There's even some guys in there. And there's Hardanger throughout and specialty stitches and whatnot. And I have what might work is a long piece of purple fabric that I got from Shelly Key X Stitch because she didn't know what to do with it or didn't want the even weave anymore or something. But this is a long skinny strip, so I was like, long skinny, okay. So I may do this on purple, which would be fun. So that's another one that I may get started before the Heirloom Nativity Sampler is finished. Maybe this year. I don't know when. Is there like a National Cross Stitch Day or something that I could start this on? I think there is. Does anyone know when that is? Can let me know. And then I want to start one of these Jeanette Douglases. I have My Story and Four Seasons sampler, which I love them both. But I think since I bought this one, I think, or Shelly, I think, did Shelly give me this one? I think Shelly might have given me this one. As soon as I got this one, I think I want to start this one first, because it's, I don't know. I really like both of them. But I think this one would be easier to sub out the flosses for what I have on hand. This one needs to be more specific. So I was not sure how much I wanted to sub in this one, and which flosses to use. It would still show up the white and everything, or which fabric I mean. So I may do this one first. It's a lot of specialty stitches again, so that's another one that I think I want to start this year. Now for all the Mirabilias that I have kitted up. Top on my list right now, I think, is Garden Prelude, which is one of her newer patterns. And right now I have this kitted up with Wedgwood Lugana by Color and Cotton. And I think I'll start this on my birthday in September. So that's the plan at this point. I also have another pretty for sure start. Let's see, where is she? Summer Queen will start in June, like the 22nd, 21st, the first day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. So I have her kitted up with oyster, linen, and all the beads. So, yep. I already have winter started. I've finished spring, autumn, and Christmas, so I need to have her started too so that I can work on her whenever I need her for a sal or seasonal stitching or something. I have a whole bunch of other Mirabilias and Lavender and Laces and one Joan Elliott that are in the mix. So I'm just going to show you, because at some point this year another one might get started. So we'll see, because I have a whole bunch of them and they're all gorgeous fabrics. So yeah, something needs to happen here. So I have this one, this Misty Rain, Vintage Misty Rain by Lakeside Linens is this like silvery color. It's 46 count. So I have this kitted up with both Winter Rose by Lavender and Lace and Christmas Visit by Butternut Road, because they're both non-beaded and would look good on really light gray fabric, I think. So that's either one of those or both could get started. I also have Butternut Road, Once Upon a Fairy Tale or something. Once Upon a Time, kitted up with 32 count Amber by Witchelt. That could get started at any point. I have this Mayday thing by Joan Elliott out of this magazine, Cross Stitch Gold. I have kitted up with Spring Morning 32 count Jobelin. It's only an 1/8 of a yard because it's a smaller design, so that one I want to do their dresses in hand dyes as well, so that's a maybe. I have two patterns here kitted up with this Color and Cotton that's Nightshade, a nice dark blue, lots of beads in here. I have Fairy, what's this one called? Fairy Lily of the Woods, the Dreaming Fairy, and then Christmas Elegance. And I think they both look good on that color. So those are ready to go. I have lots of beads in here already for those. I have Roses of Provence. I don't have the beads yet, but I have this kitted up with this awesome fabric by Color and Cotton. What's this called? Stonehenge. I'll turn that around so that I don't have to open the bag next time to see what this is called. So that's Stonehenge. Oh, gorgeous. So I could do that. I have, this is the same way as the Color and Cotton. It's backwards in here. This is Lady of the Mist. Lady of the Mist. She's kitted up with Light Denim by Color and Cotton. I thought looked very misty. So she could be started at any point. I have Sabrina kitted up with natural Belfast linen and all of her silks and beads and etc. So, yep, that could happen. I have a few things in here that could use this, what is this? Olive green Belfast linen that was discontinued, and I got a huge chunk of it. I could do this. I was thinking of doing Titania, the Queen of Fairies, on that. And Isabella's Garden could go on that. And then I also have this in here too. Queen Anne's Lace, which if I do this at all, I would do it without the background. Just the lady on the green fabric. So those are some that are in here. I like Isabella's Garden. That might be my favorite of these three. Sooner than later start. And I doubt I'll start very many of these this year, if any. I know there's these two that I really think I might start this year, but I really think I should start at least a few more because I have so many. I have Cassiopeia, which I'm going to try to do without the background. I don't really care for that background, just her on her couch. And I'll do her on this dark brown fabric. I can't remember what this is. I don't know if that has a name, but it's a pretty, like a cool brown. It's not a warm brown. I think that'll be a nice background for that, with all the threads. I was gifted with that one. And then I have Cottage Garden Fairy, which I recently switched out the fabric for this one to be Holiday Mint Lugana by Color and Cotton. So I think that'll be fun to do on that bright green. Cottage Garden Fairy. So, and then the last but not least is Little Wings by Lavender and Lace. I may want to color convert her dress and do a flip maybe of a pink dress with green accent bows instead of green dress with pink bows. So it will still coordinate with the flowers and green foliage over here, but most of the dress will be these pinky burgundy colors, and then these where you see the pink burgundy will be the greens instead. I think I'll do a color flip on this one and do it on this nice green 40 count patina. I believe it's Lakeside Linens. So, and this is another one that's not beaded, so I can do it on a high count fabric. So that's, I think those ones might be fun to start since I'm kind of doing an experiment with those. Where's the other ones? So this one, I'm really leaning towards trying that on 40 count, because I've never actually stitched on 40 count. Except I've stitched 40 count 1/1 on even weave half stitches, but I haven't stitched 1/2 full crosses like sampler style. So I'd be interested to try that. And I also would like to try one of these with this 46 count 1/1 or 1/2 full cross. I think that'd be fun to try. What's another one that I'm kind of leaning towards? Oh yeah, this Isabella's Garden would be fun to try. Since I have a little girl, these ones kind of appeal to me right now while she's still little. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe this one. Maybe this one, because I've never tried a Joan Elliott, and I want to do some hand-dyed fun with their dresses. So that one might be another one that's on the short list. Just so I can have a Joan Elliott on the go. And I think that's all I have here that I pulled out to show you guys. I'm sure there's a few more things in there that are on the longer list of things that I could start that are not fully kitted or they're not really calling to me right now. These are a lot of the things that are very attractive as new starts. So the plan right now is to either start the Owl Family or Rosetto on January 1st, and then hopefully I'll be able to come back again potentially the end of next week for my Whip Parade and the mybobbin.com review, and then another proper update on the 6th, where I'll show you anything I've been working on in the past since now, and then show you a little better my start for the Bloomtopia cell, which I'm hoping to do on the 6th. So that's my plans. Wasn't short, but going into 2020, I'm kind of just feeling a little bit unsure if I want to follow any groups. I still kind of like the idea of the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group. I like maybe going over to the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch group. I might try that and do their acrostic thing for the month to pick patterns that go along with their acrostic that they choose every month. I think January's is going to be Ready, Set, XS, exclamation point, and then you pick something for each letter. And that might be a little bit easier to pick projects that go with those letters versus the themes that the Enchanted Stitching group picks, which are sometimes a little obscure and hard to figure out. Maybe it's just a little less mental energy if I just pick letters. Some other thoughts are just to stitch whatever I want to stitch and not worry about it. But I don't want to go so far that I lose my stitchy bug because I don't have anything motivating me. So I know there's the Around the World full coverage monthly challenges, and I have previously, a few months back, I went through those and picked 2 full coverage pieces for each month, for each country, so I could potentially make sure those 2 pieces get some extra attention that month. I'm never very good at sticking with challenges that I plan so far in advance, which is why I like the more monthly or weekly things, or maybe a little bit more up my alley. But at this point, I don't really know. A lot of times I'm way more of a planner, but the last few months have been very chaotic personally, so it's just kind of, let's just go with the flow, let's just stitch and have fun. So on that note, I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your 2019, and I hope to see you again in 2020. Happy stitching! Bye! Hi, so it's later in the day, so it's kind of grainy probably, but I wanted to share this with you because I knew if I didn't, it might be a while before I get a proper update, and I want to be able to use these things. So I got my mail, and I knew this was coming in the mail. I had ordered, at the beginning of December, I ordered the Variegated Collection by Victorian Motto Sampler Shop. And because I used to get her monthly subscription for about a year, and they're really pretty threads, but a lot of the threads she does have such a mild variegation that I didn't feel like it was necessarily worth getting them as opposed to DMC, because they weren't that variegated. So when she came out with this Variegated Collection, she had a picture associated with it, and it looked very, very nice, and I am not disappointed. So I wanted to share these with you, and they are gorgeous. So I don't know if she has any more of these left, but you can check and get them. Run. It was like $37 plus shipping, I think. And they're 20-yard skeins. So this is Victorian Grays. Really pretty. Ruby Wine. This one does have a lot of variegation. It's just hard to see because it's so dark. Adobe Adventure, which is like light tans. Shades of Sable, which would make a lovely tree trunk for my temperature tree. But I don't know. I'll have to compare this one to what's the one I'm planning to use? The one I'm planning to use. I'll have to check compared to this one, which one I like better. Blue Sampler. Yeah, there we go. You can definitely see the change. Golden Sandstone, which is a nice warm tan. My Tapestry, which are blues and purples. That's really pretty. Cranberry Rainbow. I like that one. It's a little richer than it's showing. It's a little pinker in the video. Granny's Green Apples, which is a really nice green. That's fun. Woodland Masterpiece. That's really fun. And the lighting is fading. Glorious Sunset, which is what's happening right now. Actually, we don't have much of a sunset because it's very cloudy today. It's sprinkling out there. And Cotton Candy. So those are really, really fun. I would highly recommend them if she has any left. Got a lot of variation, bright, fun colors, and some neutrals. I love. Very nice. I'm really happy with that. And then, I was not expecting this, but I got some Happy Mail from Dawn, Frosty X Stitch. So I'm going to open that for you right now. Got a package. There's some Swiss chocolate, which, yes please. Extra fine milk chocolate. Sounds good. I love me some milk chocolate. Looks like some more chocolate. Chocolate Blanc. This is probably white chocolate. My husband loves white chocolate, so I think he might help me with that one. What is this? Ooh, more chocolate. 78% cocoa, so this is probably dark chocolate. Yum. Looks like a card, so I'll have to read that in a minute. Off the air. A couple more goodies in here. Something in a little bag. Let's see what this is. It's all wrapped up really with actual wrapping paper. Thank you, Dawn. This is fun. I wasn't expecting this. So I had shared all my Christmas cards earlier. So this is Merry Christmas from Switzerland. And I'll try to remember to link, if anybody who had sent me a card has a Flosstube channel, I'll link that below. There we go. Oh, cute. I think they're little baby scissors. Oh, those are adorable. How cute are those? And they have a cute little case to snap over them. Very fun. Those are really cute. Thank you, Dawn. And now I understand all the packaging so that they wouldn't puncture anything. And one last little package. Oh, cute. There's a bunch of little paper clips with little felt tops on them. Those are fun. I can use those for like marking the little journal that I keep, or the little calendar I keep my stitching in, or in my Bible, or in books. Very cute. Thank you, Dawn. That was a fun surprise for Christmas, and I'll read your card in as soon as I sign off. And I think that's everything that I have to share with you until my whip parade next week. Until then, happy stitching. Bye.